Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden, and this amazingly sagey-looking person over here is Tim, and thank you so much for stopping by. This is The Second Legacy, and we are happy to have you with us. Now, what we're going to talk about today is the esteemed safety zone of Chicago, the gun control mecca, the place where no bad things can happen because the ultimate gun control has been achieved. Except videos like we're about to show you. This is going to be one that you're going to want to watch, send out, because this is a good reason why we have a Second Amendment and we utilize it. Now, before we dive into that, we've got a sponsor. We got to talk about Bullet Safe. We're going to hit the quick spot for them, and then we are going to show you this stuff, which you are going to love, and can't wait to hear your thoughts below. Now, the vest you're seeing me wear is from Bullet Safe, and they've sponsored these videos. Bullet Safe is on a mission to be the #1 provider for safety equipment such as this for not only the civilian, but also the security market. Now, the VP3 that I'm wearing comes in at $299.97, which makes it completely affordable and provides up to or better than Kevlar protection. This thing is NIJ level 3 tested. You are talking about up to 44 Magnum stopping on this bad boy. They've made it concealable, discreet, comfortable, and breathable. It's modular and upgradable, and in comparison to previous models, it's 50% thinner and 25% lighter. As you can see, I'm wearing it in the filming of this spot, and it is not even adding to any of my dexterity whatsoever. This is something very concealable, and if you're in the market, this might be something just for you. And thank you to Bullet Safe for making this content possible. All right, so thank you so much to Bullet Safe, and as I mentioned, my brothers and sisters, we have got internet gold for you right here, and we're going to break it down. But before we do, I have to do my habitual. Tim, how the hell are you, guy?
Doing good. I'm doing really good. Even better that I don't have a guy outside my door with a pickaxe.
That is amazing. You always were picked on as a child, right?
Yeah.
I can't. It's too early. It's too early. We can't even do this yet. You know what? We got to hit the video.
The puns are going to be pretty slim pickings. Yeah.
Oh, yes. You guys will understand these puns in a second. So, what we're about to show you, my brothers and sisters of freedom, is the reason why we have the Second Amendment. So, Mr. Producer, you know what? Enough of the setup. Can we play number 5? All right, so that's just the setup. Now, you would think that this is the end of a nightmare. Yeah, it's not even beginning. We got 3 clips. But before I get into this, I just want to say for myself, for Second Legacy, and on behalf of Tim, this is not something that we're making light of. This is not something that we need to make a joke out of. This is something that is really important. These are actual real-life issues that could happen to anyone. Now, putting yourself in the shoes of this homeowner, which we're about to show you what happens, this is why we are all trained. This is why we have the Second Amendment. This is why we protect ourselves and those that we love. Because the left will tell you, again, this is from Chicago, that because gun control exists, nothing bad will happen. Well, Tim, you know how this works. I'm going to tease this a little bit harder. What do you think, before we get into this, where do you think this is going? Because you haven't seen the whole thing yet.
Yeah, I'm guessing it gets pretty ugly. And yeah. You know, one place where people should feel secure is in their homes, right?
Yep.
You don't really think, most people don't think about what would happen in a situation like this, because when you get home, you just naturally feel safe. Mm-hmm. And despite that, every morning when I wake up, I strap a gun on precisely for the reasons we're about to see. When I'm at home, if I'm awake, I have a gun. If I leave the house, I certainly have a gun. But a lot of folks, when they get home, they'll take the gun off, throw it in the safe. They're in their safe spot. But this video demonstrates you're never truly safe, especially when you're in a big city. In a big city where crime is running rampant because of crazy policies. And the gun control isn't going to save you. It's just going to make things worse.
Correct. And the individual that we're watching, again, the second clip's about to play. This is the intense part. So the person that we're watching is high on something. Now, the article and all the reporting says there's some sort of foreign substance driving this. They had already driven their car into this person's house and then decided to do what you already saw. But now, Mr. Producer, let's send it out. Play number 6 for me. So, Tim, there's so much in this part because this is the meat, right? So far, we've done all the setup. This is the meat. What stands out to you first in that? Again, all the things that we've just talked about. What's your first thoughts?
Besides the pickaxe?
Besides them picking on a door.
Yeah. First of all, he goes into the structure empty-handed. So he found a pickaxe somewhere. And now he's battering a door down with it. You can hear the guy inside screaming help. And this is the point where if you're a Second Amendment advocate and you practice safety and you have a gun on, it's where you end this right now. But
easy.
Sadly, that's not how this plays out. It doesn't look like, because all he's doing is screaming for help, and this guy is not deterred, and he just continues beating away at that door. And it's straight up Shining stuff, dude. If you're familiar with that old Jack Nicholson movie. Yeah. I mean, that would be terrifying to somebody inside that house.
Oh, God, yes. I mean, so that's actually funny because they're on the Twitter feed where this is available, and it's linked down there. You guys can check it out. That's actually some of the comments that actually came out, the exact same thing. And like, somebody had to say it, and they showed Jack Nicklaus's face. But the big things that stand out to me in this, again, we are in the Second Amendment community, not because we just like guns. There's a lot of things deeper than just, I like guns. It's, I defend myself. I defend my family. My wife has the ability to defend herself. All the people that I love are defended by our ability to not call police and scream for help, but to actually take care of things in a worst case scenario. And that's why we're showing you this clip. Not to make light of it, not to make a joke out of it, but to show you that you can't always expect that people aren't going to be high on something. You can't always expect that someone is not going to bash your door in with their shoulder, because that was a locked door. And you're also not going to expect them to have a pickaxe that they either found or brought with them and start bashing in the door to get to you while you're screaming for help.
Yeah.
I mean, I can almost imagine that.
I can almost guarantee you at least the person inside the structure that's calling for help probably has already dialed 911, and maybe even neighbors have dialed 911. And this goes back to something I say all the time. When seconds count, the police are only minutes away. You are your own first responder. You have to deal with these situations. No matter how uncommon they are, you always have to have this in the back of your mind. That isn't... I can't stress that enough. You know, we become complacent. We get comfortable in our surroundings, in our communities, in our homes. But bad people and ill will are everywhere, and you just have to always be prepared, both mentally and physically.
Well, it's a preparedness thing. It's a self-reliance and a preparedness thing. You just nailed it. This is not about strapping on a gun and saying, I'm Rambo now, or I'm the town sheriff. This is literally about, what if this happens? Like, if you're watching this video and you have a wife, or you are a wife and you have a husband, whoever you care about in your family, or anybody that you know, your neighbor, everyone has someone they care about. And if you could imagine this happening to them, not just yourself, to them, what does that do for your opinion of the scenario? Again, he is using a pickaxe to get to somebody through a door after he's already bashed through a front door. So breaking and entering has already happened. Now it's an assault with a deadly weapon. But the big irony is, this weapon is the thing that the Democrats will tell you is not a problem. It's not a gun, so therefore it's perfectly good. And it speaks to something that we hit on the 2A community a whole lot around. It's not the tool and implement that's used, it's the person. Because the person is the one going through all these steps, and that's incredibly important to understand. You know,
I'm going to have to disagree with you on this one. All we really need, Braden, is just reasonable pickaxe control. You know,
I didn't think about that.
Pickaxe violence is a real problem, and you know we just need reasonable controls. That's all. We don't want to ban pickaxes. We just want to control them. Now, if this guy had done a 4473 form and had a background check, you know, maybe he wouldn't have picked up that pickaxe in the hallway.
So common sense garden tool control.
Yeah, that's all we want is common sense. And it looks like an assault garden tool, right? Because it had an extra long wooden handle. I mean, who needs a handle that large? That's an extended length handle. It allows more power in each swing. You got to shorten those handles. You just got to have common sense with these matters, dude.
Was it an adjustable wooden stock?
It may have been folding, yeah. We couldn't really tell from the video. But boy, if he could fold that and put it in a backpack.
Jeez.
Come on, common sense, people. It's for the children.
You know, that's true. But you know what? I think this is a really great time to show the third clip of how this ended, because you never know when all this trouble is going to end like this. Mr. Producer, could you play number 7, please? So all that, Tim, to get in that door and say, "What's up, bro?"
Did he say bro or did he say ho? Because
that would be a garden tool. That would
be I mean, it could have been a garden tool conversation, right?
I just felt like he was picking on that guy.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, it's horrific. But anyway, all right, so we're not making fun of the situation, guys. There's just too many doors being left wide open for us to step through on this one. But yeah, what a weird thing. I mean, to say that this guy's probably on drugs, I think it's a safe assumption because that is not rational behavior. No. And it's almost like we need to ban drugs or something, right? You know, that usually would solve things like this, just reasonable pickaxe controls, drug controls, and we wouldn't have situations like this. We don't need to deal with criminals and criminal behavior and mental illness. You take away inanimate objects and all the...
You are like a habanero pepper right now, sir. You are spicy to the touch.
Yeah, I'm being a little facetious. But,
yeah, of course, we all are. This is dipped in sarcasm.
It is dripping in sarcasm. But, you know, this whole video shows, it just so highlights everything we've been saying for so long.
Everything.
You know, this is crazy, absolute crazy. You have a city that's in decay. You have a city that has wild controls on guns, but here we have a weapon being used that has nothing to do with firearms. And what's even more interesting is nobody's going to talk about this in the Chicago media. Nobody's going to bring light to this. Nobody, because it doesn't fit their narrative and doesn't push their agenda. They don't care about pickaxe violence. They just want to talk about gun violence. And I'm being facetious once again because I don't believe either exists.
Right.
Because an axe can't commit an act of violence any more than a gun can commit an act of violence. What they always seem to forget to talk about purposely is the person wielding the weapon. That's the problem. But they don't want to deal with that.
And I want to throw one thing out there because I don't know why. I just have a feeling I need to say this. If you are in a scenario like this and you ever find yourself and you happen to be protecting yourself with the Second Amendment, make sure that entry door breaches before you just crack off anything. Because you gotta know you gotta have a reason to use this Second Amendment for what it's designed for. You can't just be going blasting through doors. Just throwing that out there. I think that's an appropriate thing to say.
I think that depends on jurisdiction.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. We're not getting
always
legal
advice. Always the legal, Tim. Always the legal.
I'm not a lawyer. Neither is Braden.
No, I was just saying what I prefer. My opinion.
Identify that target.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
But, I mean, it's a pretty safe bet if you see a pickaxe head coming through a door. I don't know. Anyway. Come on, man. Stand right there. Okay. Raise it. Perfect. Bang. Okay. Problem solved.
Oh, my God.
Smile for the camera and wait for the flash. Yeah.
Take us out before we get, banned.
I know. It's just getting worse. Okay.
Shadow smoked and all the...
You knew it was going to go there. Guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to be part of our call-in show where you can ask questions or just make a statement, we can have a conversation around whatever two-way issue you would like to talk about, please fill out that link in the video description below. It'll take you to a Google Doc, and we'll get you called. We'll get you on the show. We'll have that great conversation. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you guys soon.